Hey guys, I'm back today with another 3 cards, 1 stamp set. This is the stamp set we'll be using today. I am so excited because I've had this for a little bit. If you're a demonstrator, you're able to pre-order. And this is from the new catalog. This is Cauldron Bubble. It is so cute. You have 11 stamps and 3 of those are sentiments. So you have this little ghost, a cat, a witch hat, this cauldron, her frog, the witch, the broom, Happy Halloween. And then you have the little stars and little sparks or whatever that you could put above your cauldron. This witch is really cute if you're not into Halloween, but you like the cute side of Halloween. This is perfect. I did get the matching dies. I have a scan and cut, so I try not to get dies if I don't have to. But I did go ahead and get the dies here because they cut the DSP that I'm going to show you in a second. And it has the little cluster of stars and the spider web, which I thought were really cute. So this is the Cauldron Framelits die. I will link the bundle, but if you go into the bundle and you want to purchase maybe just the stamp set, you can find it that way. It's really easy. So for the DSP, I've already busted into this pack of paper. The DSP is called Toil and Trouble DSP. And like I said, this is from the new catalog. If you do place an order, you will receive the holiday catalog. Holiday catalogs were sent out to my customers who have placed an order in the last 6 months. They were sent out a week or so ago, so everyone should have one, and they got a little sampling of some of the DSP and ribbon. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that and are enjoying the catalog. So here are some of the patterns. You have the little cute ghosts. And on the back you have some purple stripes. Here are some bats. And then you have the stars. And then this I love. It's my favorite. Let's see. The die should cut out one of these witches. Let's see which one she is. I think she's this one. Yes. So the die will cut her out. So on the back of, let me just take this out. On the back of the one with the witches, you have cats. Then you have the cauldron, and again, the die will cut out the die will cut out the cauldron. Oops, if I could put it on there right. And the cat, you can cut out the cat. So isn't that cool? I really love that because it takes your DSP a lot further. Of course, you know, if you don't have a die, you could fussy cut it, but the die is always easy. And you have some polka dots. Here's the witch hat. And of course the dies will cut out the stamp set as well. And this will cut out all the witch hats. So really cool. And on the back of the witch hat, you have the frogs, which I really like. That's adorable. And then here is another one. Here's the ghosts. Here are some pumpkins, which I think are really cool. And then you have brooms on the back of that one. And I'm pretty sure that repeats. Yes. So with this paper pack, it's 12 by 12, and you get 12 sheets. And they're double-sided. So we'll be using this paper for the 3 cards. I also got the ribbon. This is, let's see, it's glittered organdy, I hope I'm saying that right, ribbon. And it's just really a pretty black sparkle. Sorry, I have ink on my hands. I'm trying to make some videos in a row. But really pretty. Love that. So looking forward to using that. So all supplies will be listed below with what I'll be using today. When I bring in ink and all that, I will list that below as well. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would absolutely love to be your demonstrator. Your support is appreciated, as when you make purchases, I earn incentives, and it's really nice to be supported. So let me know if you have any questions. All information will be below. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, for my first card, I'll be using a pumpkin pie card base. Here is my piece of DSP. My card measures A2 size, so 5.5 by 4 1/4. This would be 5.5 by 8. Is that right? I never get it right. No, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. I don't know why I have such difficulty with that. And then this piece is 5 by 3 and 5 by 3 3/4. So that will be that piece. Then I took a piece of black cardstock and I embossed it with the Simple Stripes embossing folder. So we'll have that piece to use. I took a piece of pumpkin pie cardstock, cut it out with the largest circle stitch die. I took some Granny Smith apple cardstock. I think that's what it's called. Granny Smith apple? Is that what it's called? And stamped my sentiment and trimmed it very crookedly with some gorgeous grape ink. And then for my pieces I'm going to use, I fussy cut out this little girl, the orange, because her little apron matches the pattern paper I'm going to use. I die cut out this piece from the DSP. The broom die cut will cut this out, but I went ahead and fussy cut it. And I also cut out the cat. So with a die cut. Now, some of the DSP has bats. I went ahead and fussy cut 2 bats. There is in the holiday catalog a bat punch, which would have been really handy. But fussy cutting these out was not too bad. So what we're going to do is and I'm going to bring in the ribbon that I showed you already. So we're going to go ahead and put our pieces together. I'm going to adhere this. Kind of get the better side. Adhere this to the bottom just to kind of create a separation between the 2 pieces of pattern, or the pattern paper, and my images that I'm going to put on top of it. So let's see, I'm trying to use my mat to guide make sure it's straight. Go ahead and trim this off. And you could use either side. There is a raised side and then the embossed side, which I kind of wish I did use this side and not the raised, but no big deal. I'm going to go ahead and attach my ribbon, and how I do that is I'm going to, I think I want it placed here. So I'm just going to do this, line it up where I want it. Fold this piece over and go ahead and adhere some tape, and then take it to the other side. This ribbon probably will be covered up mostly, but just in case it's not, I'm going to go ahead and attach this. I'm just going to pop it up with a few Stampin' Dimensionals. Actually, this can overhang. Let me see if I can line this up. Yeah, we'll overhang this a little. Covers up that side of the ribbon, but whatever. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and... Now, my witch's hand is obviously right here. But on the broom, where I cut this from, the witch that was holding the broom is actually holding it. So you can see her hand a little. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up where it kind of looks like her hand's wrapped around it. And then I will just trim this part off. So I'll do that. I'll just take a glue dot and add that. Glue dot's going to be bigger, so you just fold it on itself. And then I'm going to line it up so it looks like it's her hand that's holding it. I'm going to trim this part off. There. So nobody would know the difference. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and stick her on here. I'm going to, of course, use some dimension. Pop her down. Then I have my little cauldron, which I will place here. I'll use a Stampin' Dimensional for to the right side. Then we're going to add a little kitty. I'm going to stick the cat mostly on the cauldron. I will use a mini Stampin' Dimensional just so she doesn't get smushed and look weird. I'm going to go ahead and tie a bow. Stick that there. I'm going to use some glue dots. Hopefully they will stick. Glue dots typically will work, but with this kind of textured ribbon, sometimes it can be tricky. So you may want to try some wet adhesive. I'm going to go ahead and add dimensionals to the back side and go ahead and attach it to my card base. Okay. I'm going to take my banner triple punch, and what I want to do is I want to cut a banner in to the back of this. Try to get it straight as possible. I think that will work. Will they even stand out? No, I think I'm going to skip them. So here is card 1. Adorable, love it, love it. Okay, for the second card, I'm going to be using this little stamp set right here. And I'm going to heat emboss it with white embossing powder. I have a piece of black cardstock that's cut down to 3 1/4 by, what is it, 5? Yeah. 5 by 3 1/4, and I'm just rubbing my embossing bag across to get rid of any static, and then I'm going to take my Versamark and stamp kind of a diagonal line. I will use my white embossing powder to heat emboss these images. And then I just take my finger and get rid of any excess dust from the embossing bag. I've seen some people use a Swiffer cloth, which seems to work really well. I don't have one, so we'll just use my hand. Okay, I'm going to use my Gorgeous Grape card base. Again, this is A2 size. I have cut out a piece of the DSP, 1/4 of an inch smaller than my card base, and then I went ahead and, here is my black panel, I went ahead and trimmed it another 1/4 of an inch because I wanted to see a little bit of the green polka dot coming through. So let me go ahead and attach these pieces. Okay, now I have two strips of the pattern paper. This striped one actually comes from the cauldron sheet. Let me see if I can find it, because I'll show you. It's cute. It has the cauldrons on it, but you can cut the strips and you can have borders. So you have this one, your spiders, and you have the cauldrons and polka dots. So I just cut the striped one, and I'm just going to kind of attach them. Just kind of wonky, no real perfect way of attaching these. I think I'm going to, let's see how I want to do this. I'm just gonna, boop, and I'm just going to attach it. Doesn't need to be perfect. I'm not looking for a perfect look. Then I cut a piece of ribbon that I'm just going to kind of throw on here, I'm going to use glue dots. Just like that. Trim this off. And then I took some of the pumpkin DSP. I wanted to make sure I use the pumpkins. And I fussy cut them out. So I have these two. And we're just going to stick them on here with glue dots, I think. At least this one. And then I use the smallest stitch die to stamp out my sentiment, right, cut it out, and I stamped it in Gorgeous Great on some Granny Smith apple green cardstock. And I'm just going to add some dimensionals. And I think that will complete this card. Okay, for my third card, I am using Granny Smith Apple Green for my card panel. I have die cut out 4 of the spider webs. These are really cool because you can, originally I was going to do this design, but I changed it, but I wanted to show you anyway. You can connect all 4 to create a larger spider web, which I think is really cool. That's your focal point. Really awesome. Today, I'm going to put them in the corner. So I'm going to adhere them with some fine tip glue, with glue from my fine tip glue pen, adhere them in the corner. I've taken some Gorgeous Grape and used my layering circle framelits to cut this out. And then I took a smaller, just regular circle with pumpkin pie and cut that out. So these are going to be layered. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the witch that I die cut out from the DSP. And then for stamps, I am using Happy Halloween for the sentiment. I'm going to stamp that on some, I'm not sure how I'm going to stamp that. We'll get back to that. But I have pumpkin pie ink. I am using the stamp, and I'm going to stamp with pumpkin pie ink that all over this. So I'm going to fast forward it because you don't need to sit through the process. We're going to glue these down, and I'm going to stamp this and attach these two. Okay, I'm going to go, I went ahead and stamped out on some alcohol-friendly cardstock my cauldron and my little frog that I have yet to use. I wanted to at least use a couple of the image stamps, even though this could have been cut out with DSP, and then my little frog would have to be the stamp. So I'm going to color these with my Copic markers, then we'll cut them out, and then I'll add them to my card to complete the third card. So I went ahead and attached my cauldron, and I stamped out my sentiment, Bubble Bubble, Toil and Trouble, with grapefruit, gorgeous grape ink, and then cut it out with a stitched circle die. And then here is my little frog to complete the third card. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know which card was your favorite. I think I have to say number 1 was mine. All supplies will be listed below, and again, I do appreciate your business. If you choose to order with me and you don't have a demonstrator, if you do place an order with me, like I said, $50 or more, you will receive the holiday catalog. And don't forget to use that hostess code. And as always, if you have any questions, let me know and I'll be happy to answer them for you. All right, guys, I'll see you next week. Bye.